everybody. This is Today I Learned Whisper, and this is my first attempt at a soft-spoken whisper sound video. So what I think I'm going to try and do is, as often as I can, I'm going to try and teach you guys something different. Maybe say a random few facts for the day about something a lot of people don't know about, or teach you a recipe, or today, for my first video, I want to teach you guys how to do this. So I'm going to teach you guys how to make origami stars. It's something I really like to do just because I find you can do it with all different kinds of paper. Sometimes when I get bored at work, I take receipt paper and I carefully rip off a strip, and then I use that to make the stars. If you really want to challenge yourself once you get better at doing it with bigger pieces of paper, you can usually make a little one or a really strange looking one out of a straw wrapper. And I do that at restaurants sometimes, and I leave them next to the tips that I give the waiters and the waitresses. This is a little pack of pre-made strips that my sister got me at a little Asian grocery store. We saw them and she thought I would love them because they're specifically designed to make origami stars with. And I just think they're so pretty. I mean, it's kind of hard to see in this light, but they're shiny. Kind of have like a dimpled surface. They're a little tricky. It took me a little while to get used to it, just because they're so thin. Usually if you're gonna make a star, especially if it's one of your first times, definitely recommend that's a good sound. I definitely recommend making it with a thicker piece of paper. Basically just take a regular piece of paper and just cut along the edge lengthwise, and usually 3/4 of an inch. That's a good size piece of paper to kind of teach yourself with. So bear with me now. I'm a little out of practice, and these are really finicky. So we'll see how well this works out. Okay, first you take the piece of paper that you're using. You can see I'm using a nice shiny red one here. And this is tricky, but if you know the cancer ribbon shape, the one for supporting breast cancer, make that shape out of your piece of paper, so it looks like this from the side you are looking at. Then you want to take the short end, this one right here, and you want to put it through that loop that you just made, like that. See? So it ends up kind of looking like this. And then you very carefully pull the long piece so it tightens. And you want it to tighten just to where all of it fits, but you aren't making any one part of it pucker, would be the best way to describe it. and then you flatten it down, push on all the sides, and it should basically make a shape like this. So it should kind of look like a little pentagon with a little extra tabby here. See the tabby? Yeah. Alright, and then you take that part and you hold it like this. Sorry, this camera's backwards for me, so it's tricky. And you take the part with a little tab and you fold it inward, and you have to see if you've left your tab a little long. If you have, all you have to do is take a pair of scissors and just cut the edge a little bit, just to make it so it'll fit inside a little better. I didn't necessarily have to do that, I just wanted to, just to show you how this works. So then you take that tabby, little tab that you folded, and you tuck it inside the fold that you made. You can see, just tuck it inside like that. So now you should have a perfect little hexagon, except, or sorry, pentagon, except for that long part that's sticking out. You can see. And now what you want to do is you want to take that, and this is a little bit trickier because you've got paper that's two colors. You've got the side you want people to see, and then you've got the white side. On regular white paper, you can start going in either direction, whatever makes you happy. But what you want to do here now is take the long part, and you want to fold it so it goes along the bottom of your pentagon, like this, just like that. So it goes along the bottom of your pentagon. Now keep the edges tight, but don't pull it. And then you want to flip it over. I'm doing this backwards, so bear with me. And instead of following the bottom this time, you want to go up. You want to follow the angle that it's making, like that. So you can see how now it's going upwards. Okay. And now you want to turn it, and you want to, basically, you've got the same shape you had before with this, and now you want to, from the side that you guys will be seeing, you want to push this, keep it tight, and you want to make it so it goes along the bottom of the hexagon again. So it's along the bottom, and then you flip it around, and then it goes along the top top right, goes along the top right part. Now you want to really try and make sure that you don't have any edges of this tabby sticking out farther than the edge of the hexagon, because that'll make it really difficult to do the pinching part later. Alright, so flip it around again, like I said, and make it so it follows the bottom. See how it's along the bottom? Sorry if I keep drifting off in terms of the camera. Alright. And then you fold it up again, and you flip it over, and you fold it along the bottom until you're left with what you know isn't going to be, as you can see, it isn't going to be enough to go around again. But you need to figure out if it's long enough to go around the other side and get tucked into this. In this case, it probably isn't, because I don't think it will stay up. I don't think it will stay tucked, rather. So I'm going to get my scissors again and cut it just enough so that I can tuck it in. And when you're tucking it, try and keep it as tight as possible. You really need that tension for the next part. Okay. And then when it's all done, you're left with this, a little shiny hexagon in this case. And now, this is usually the part that makes or breaks whether your star is actually going to be a star or just kind of a lump. What you do is you very carefully pinch each corner. Usually it's best not to start with the corner you just tucked. So look for a corner that has nothing to do with that. In this case, it's this one. You can see here, it's this one. And you put pressure on the sides carefully. So I'm gonna do this back here so I don't ruin it. Now the problem here sometimes is that instead of puffing outward, your star folds in on itself, which means it won't puff out like you need it to. Because what gives it its 3D aspect is that it puffs out. Sometimes you have to use your fingertips or your nails to to convince the star to take the shape that you want it to. And there it is. So I hope you enjoyed this, that you are happy with learning how to make little origami stars. They don't really do anything, but I have used them to make earrings in past, jewelry. Because if you make them out of the right paper, they can be pretty sturdy, actually. Maybe another day I'll show you guys the earrings that I made out of them. These ones aren't quite so good for doing that with, unfortunately. Alright, so that's Today I Learned Whisper with how to make origami stars. Thanks.